What's goody, everybody? Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the cockiest team in the NBA, the Memphis Grizzlies. Before I go any further, Ja Morant, look into my eyes. Cut it out, bro. You're about to ruin your NBA career. Now, if I thought it was realistic that Memphis would trade you, I would probably trade you in this video. But they're not going to trade you. So, Memphis, in this video, you are going to keep Ja. I will say that now. But Ja, get your together. This is ridiculous. Quit going on IG and whatnot. Stay off Instagram. All right? Stay off social media. You have a daughter, bro, and you're flashing guns on Instagram Live. Really? Like, that's going to send the wrong message to her if you keep doing this. You got a little bit of time to figure this out. All right? You're a funny dude. You're a great basketball player. Now just be a good dude, a good father, and a good basketball player, and stay away from all this thug. All right? Last time I'm cussing. Before I go any further, I just want to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies as a whole. One of my friends asked me if I think the Memphis Grizzlies can be a contender with the roster they got or what they need to do to change it. They would have beaten the Lakers if fully healthy, but injuries are almost guaranteed to happen. So Memphis Grizzlies aren't a deep enough team to contend, and they're not a good enough shooting team to contend. So you got to fix your depth and your shooting. Now, you had Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, who would have done a decent job on AD in the Lakers series. So having one of those guys, he definitely would have made it past the Lakers. Then if you played the Warriors, they kicked your butt last year. So I don't think you would have gotten past them. But healthy, you're probably only beating the Lakers. And you probably might have not even done that. Ja Morant got hurt. You won a game without him. Yeah, Ja. They won the same amount of games without you as they did with you. And they lost 4 games with you. So, something to think about if you're Memphis. But you really need a second star. As much as I love Desmond Bane, I don't think he can be a part of the big 3 in Memphis. So, I'm going to be looking to trade him, honestly, for a second star. And just so happens there's one guy I got in mind. But that's for a later discussion. Jaren Jackson Jr. is basically AD 2.0, injury prone, great shot blocker, can shoot. AD's a better shooter, but Jaren Jackson Jr. and Anthony Davis play similar. Like, I don't know how you look at Triple J and don't see Anthony Davis in his game. What you're looking at right now is the Grizzlies depth chart. Ja Morant and Tyus Jones. Honestly, if you don't make the move that I'm going to make to get yourself a second star, I would look to move Tyus Jones for depth since he is a very high quality point guard. And he's what a lot of teams need. And you could get a decent amount of depth back. You're not going to get picks for him, but you can get like 2 decent players to come off your bench instead of just having one. Ja Morant, he's got a 5-year contract. We're not moving him. Desmond Bane at the shooting guard. Sorry, but we're trading him in this video. Great player, just not a 3 option on a championship team as of right now. Now, the place I'm sending him is a perfect place for him to be what he wants to be and needs to be. Not bringing back Dylan Brooks, so you only have 2. You only have 1 small forward, if I'm looking at this right. And you're losing him. But don't let him walk for free. Sign and trade him. That's what you need to do. Don't let him walk for free. He does have value, so sign and trade him. All right? Enough said after that. Power forward, Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is a center. I don't know why he prefers to play power forward. It's probably since he can space the floor. But I think he's better at the center position when he's not in foul trouble. So, Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, as I touched on earlier, you got a surplus of big people. Jaren Jackson Jr. is basically 7 foot. Steven Adams is 7 foot. Brandon Clark is probably 6'9", but he plays like he's 6'11". Then Santi Aldama is basically 7 foot. Damn. Basically, you got 4 7-footers. You're gonna need to look to move one of them. You need more shooting on this team, and that's what you struggled with in the playoffs: shooting and depth. So I say you move one of them because you also have Xavier Tillman, and I think he's a very quality NBA player. So I don't like he's not even on this depth chart. He's a good bench player, so we're gonna make room for him on this roster. So as I said, you're going to need to add shooting, but you also need to add defense because you're losing Dillon Brooks in the offseason because that's your choice. And that is a smart move if you're Memphis. Ja Morant and Dillon Brooks should not be on the same team. They're both knuckleheads. And enough said after that. So you want to find your second star, and you also want to find 3-and-D players. Now, 3 trade targets I have are OG Anunoby. I wouldn't trade Bane for him. See, when you're looking for the second star, you got to try and move Bane. Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. are the only 2 guys that really are necessary to stay on this team. That's a good duo moving forward, and they're both very, very young. Zach LaVine is a nice option, but he's not worth the haul you'd have to give up. He's not even a top 5 shooting guard in the league. Let's just be honest here. Mikal Bridges is interesting, but you already tried to get him, so I don't think Brooklyn's going to want to send him to you in Memphis. So as nice as that would be to have, you're not going to get him. 3 free agent targets I have, since you have to replace Dillon Brooks. Jalen McDaniels, not Jaden. This one was on the Sixers. He brings defense. Jay Crowder. Now, I really like Jay Crowder. I just don't know if you have enough money for him. And then Matisse Thybulle. You can definitely sign him. There's not really a market for him. And if one more bike drives by my house revving their engines, I won't be pissed. But anyways, now let's get into the trades. I'm not signing any free agents. You don't need to sign any free agents. I got 2 moves for you. Let's finally elevate this team to what it's supposed to be. Look what I've been cooking up. I've been cooking this up all day. I know the Celtics just lost last night, but I think this is the best trade they can do. I know I've been preaching Jaylen Brown to the Knicks, but look at this trade and tell me this doesn't make a lot of sense. You got Jaylen Brown in Memphis. You got Grant Williams in Memphis. 2 great two-way players. Well, Grant Williams, he's a 3-and-D player. That's what you need. He's going to be your new Dillon Brooks. Jaylen Brown, I don't even need to say why this is a good trade. But Jaylen Brown has to, and I mean has to, sign an extension before you make this trade, Memphis, because look at what Memphis is giving up. Desmond Bane, future, he's going to be a really good player in the league. 3 first-round draft picks. 3. Zaire Williams and Dillon Brooks. I mean, Dillon Brooks just needs to be in this trade to make it work, and I think he's going to be, like, if he goes somewhere else, there's going to be a calming presence there, and they're going to be able to shut him up. If like Joe Mazzulla is going to shut Dillon Brooks up. Like, he's not getting away with the nonsense. Taylor Jenkins is a great coach, but he's letting a lot of these guys just walk all over him and what he wants to do, and that's why the Grizzlies can't contend right now. But I like Taylor Jenkins as a coach. Another bike. You hear this? Like, I'm just trying to record, man. Anyways, Dillon Brooks is going to be on the Celtics team next year. And Celtics don't need to start him necessarily. I mean, if you look at it for the Celtics, you got Brogdon, Smart, Bane, Tatum, Robert Williams, Al Horford. Who else? You got enough. You got a lot of depth and whatnot. This is a good move if you're Boston. This is a better shooter than Jaylen Brown, and Tatum can finally just be the one option, not have to worry about getting Jaylen Brown his touches. And I think these two need to be separated because they both want to be the ones. Could this happen in Memphis too? Yes, but Jaylen Brown, you're definitely the best like go-to scorer. Like Ja Morant isn't as good of a shooter as you, so you're not giving the ball to Ja with the game on the line in the mid-range area unless he's getting downhill. Enough said after that. So let me know your thoughts on this trade. This trade makes too much sense to not do it if I'm both teams. I mean, I don't know if the Celtics really want Dylan Brooks, but F around and find out. Am I right? So this is my last offseason move that I'm going to be doing in this video. This is kind of just both teams needing this. So if you're Dallas, you're going to get Steven Adams and David Roddy. David Roddy's not really in here for much other than cap filler. Steven Adams is the best center that Luka will play with, and that's kind of disappointing, but it's true. You don't need offense if you're the Mavericks at that center spot. As I touched on in my previous video on the Mavericks, Luka is good enough to carry you offensively. So you just need guys that are going to be there and be present. Like Dwight Powell is not a presence. Like no one's scared of Dwight Powell. Steven Adams is a 7-foot, 300-pound Aquaman. He looks like Aquaman, bro. Like he's got Hall of Fame Intimidator badge. That's what you need. No one's going to go in the paint on him, and he will meet you at the rim and inflict pain into you. Now, the Grizzlies side of this, getting Tim Hardaway Jr., you get another shooter, which is exactly what you need. Look at that. I don't know if I would start him because I kind of like his production off the bench if I'm Memphis. What are your thoughts on that? All right, and here is your roster going into the 2023-2024 season, and this is a realistic outlook that you could have. I mean, your depth at the power forward and center got hurt a little bit, but what are you going to do about it? I mean, you were contending without it for most of the year. You didn't have Steven Adams like all year. Triple J is basically a center, so he's there now. You get Grant Williams on the roster. Him and Jaren Jackson Jr. are a defensive nightmare. So is Jaylen Brown. And all you're really lacking is the two guards defensively. And Tim Hardaway Jr. is a capable defender that you could have. Like, there's many lineups that you could do to make your team good defensively. And the most important thing of all, Ja Wick and JJJ have good shooters around them now. Jaylen Brown, Grant Williams, and Luke Kennard can all shoot the three. Can I get a round of applause for this? Please. This is a contender. Jaylen Brown is the 2 option. It's honestly like a 1A and a 1B. And then Triple J, and now he's your 3 option. Like, can I please get a round of applause for this move? Getting Jaylen Brown? Like, it's a realistic move, Memphis. I mean, he needs the extension first, but anyways, Tyus Jones, I could honestly see a world where you trade him. Just get more depth. Like, whatever. The shooting guard spot is interchangeable. You can start whichever one you want. It doesn't really matter. And then at small forward, you got Jaylen Brown. Tim Hardaway and Luke Kennard can both play there. You also got Concher, I think, off the bench. Like, he can play there. Whatever. Power forward, Grant Williams, Brandon Clark. You can also interchange that. I just like Grant Williams because he's a better shooter than Brandon Clark. And I don't honestly want Santi Aldama on the court that much if I'm Memphis. But it's whatever. You do what you want. This team can win a championship. I fixed you. You're welcome. Everyone tag Memphis Grizzlies in this because look at it. If you're a Memphis Grizzlies fan or you're rooting for the Grizzlies, do you really think this is realistic? Because I honestly think it is. Enough said after that. Hope you enjoyed. As always, this has been Bold Hoops with Jay Hoopa. Thanks for watching.